Hello students, I am here with the second part of 9 Science, 5th chapter, that is of Biology, the fundamental unit of life. Now here I will start with the definition of three types of solutions which are found around cells. In the previous video you must have seen a short video upon the type of solution, that is hypotonic solution, isotonic solution and hypertonic solution. First we will discuss what is hypotonic solution. If the medium of surrounding the cell has a higher water concentration than the cell will gain water by osmosis. That is, when the cell will gain water, obviously the cell will swell. Such a solution is known as hypotonic solution. Okay, so you have to remember that in hypotonic solution the medium surrounding the solution has higher water concentration than cell. Now isotonic solution. If the medium has exactly the same water concentration as the cell, there will be no net movement of water molecules across the cell membrane. Such a solution is called isotonic solution. Now in isotonic solution the water concentration inside the cell and outside the cell is same. It doesn't mean that water molecules are not traveling across the cell membrane, but the water molecules which are traveling in and out are same, and so there is no net movement. So the cell will neither swell nor shrink. Now the third type of solution is hypertonic solution. If the medium has lower concentration of water than the cell will lose water by osmosis. That is, the cell will shrink. Such a solution is known as hypertonic solution. It means in hypertonic solution the medium surrounding the cell has lower water concentration. So obviously the water molecules which are present inside the cell will come out through the membrane and the cell will shrink. So these are the three types of solution which are found in around the cells, and depending upon the type of solution, the cell gain water or lose water. Now in some unicellular organisms like amoeba, only one cell is responsible for taking in food, for throwing out waste, and so many basic life activities. Now in amoeba, actually when the cell, due to the flexibility of cell membrane, this membrane enables the cell to engulf in food and other material from its external environment, and this process is known as endocytosis. So amoeba acquire its food by the process of endocytosis. Now the main important part of cell, or you can say plant cell, is cell wall. Cell wall is present only in plant cell and it is absent in animal cell. Actually cell wall is made up of dead cells. It is rigid outer covering of cell. It is hard and strong, so it protects the plant cell from the surrounding environment. It lies outside the plasma membrane. Okay, cell wall lies outside the plasma membrane and it is made up of cellulose. Now what is cellulose? Cellulose is actually a complex substance which provides structural strength to the plant. Because the other parts of the plant are little delicate, cell wall is strong enough to give structural strength or support to the plant cell. Now sometime when plant cell loses water, what happen? The cell will shrink or contract. So the plasma membrane and other content of the cell will contract or move away from the cell wall, and this phenomena is known as plasmolysis. Okay, now because of this plasmolysis, the whole plant does not shrink or swell, but the only inner content of the cell will shrink. Sometimes the plant take in more water and the cell swells. The cell wall permit the cell of plant, fungi and bacteria to withstand very dilute external medium without bursting. Now sometimes the external medium of the cell is very dilute. Very dilute means it contain more water than inside the cell. So that because of tendency of cell to permit the water molecule in, the cell will swell. and this swelling will exert pressure on the outer wall or plasma membrane, but the outside the plasma membrane cell wall is present, and this cell wall will provide exert equal pressure on the swollen cell, and because of their walls, such cells can withstand much greater change in the surrounding medium than animal cell. Because of cell wall, plant cell can withstand undesirable environment as compared to the animal cell. This is the figure of plant cell, where you can see the dark color outer border is actually cell wall, and dark green color outer border is cell wall, and light green color part inside the cell wall is cell membrane, and cell wall is harder and cell membrane is flexible. Now you can see the pink color part is nucleus. Now we will discuss something about nucleus. Actually, nucleus is present in both plant cell and animal cell, or in fact you can say nucleus is present in all the cells. Now what is nucleus? Nucleus has a double layer covering called nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane is porous. As it is porous, it allows some substances to move or travel in and out of nucleus. Nucleus contain rod-like structures called chromosomes, but these chromosomes are visible only at the time of cell division. So before cell division, actually there are chromatin fibers, thread-like substances called chromatin fibers, which are present inside the nucleus. Now during cell division, this chromatin fiber condense and you can see pair of chromosomes. Now chromosomes contain information for inheritance of the characteristic from parent to next generation in the form of DNA. In a cell which is not dividing, DNA is present as a part of chromatin material. As I told you, chromosome is visible at the time of cell division only. So before that, it is present in the form of thread-like structure called chromatin material, and on this chromatin material DNA are present. Now what is the meaning of this? It contains the information for inheritance of characters. Now you must have seen, when you grow apple seed, only apple plant can grow, and when you grow a guava seed, guava plant can grow, because that seed contain information from the previous generation and it is inherent to next generation, and that is present on DNA. Now chromosomes are composed of DNA and proteins. The functional segment of DNA is called genes. Now nucleus plays an important role in cellular reproduction. Okay, when from one cell another cell is produced, that is called cellular reproduction, and DNA plays very important role in cellular nucleus play very important role in cellular reproduction. There are two types of cell, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Now the cell in which nuclear membrane is absent, that is the cells which has poorly defined nuclear region, are known as prokaryotic cell. The poorly defined nuclear region is known as nucleoid. It contains only nucleic acid. Cell organelles are also absent in such prokaryotic cell, and it contains single chromosome. The organisms which have no well-defined nucleus are called prokaryotes. Example, bacteria. So prokaryotic cells are present in lower organisms, that is unicellular organisms, bacteria. In such organisms prokaryotic cells are present. In higher organisms eukaryotic cells are present. In eukaryotic cells nuclear region is well defined. Nuclear membrane and membrane bound cell organelles are also present, and eukaryotic cell contain more than one chromosome. The organisms which are having well defined nucleus are called eukaryotes. Example, all the higher organisms, in all the higher organisms eukaryotic cells are present. Now cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, the fluid content inside the plasma membrane is called cytoplasm. Actually cytoplasm is, you can say, a liquid which is present inside plasma membrane and around the nucleus. All cell organelles are present inside the cytoplasm. Now cell undergoes specific functions, and all these specific or specialized functions are performed by cell organelles. Cell organelles are membrane bound structure. They are membrane bound tiny structure. Each cell organelle performs specific chemical activity that support the complex cellular life. Now there are so many activities which are taking place inside the cell, and all these activities like respiration, excretion, transportation, production of enzymes, so many activities are performed by the cell, and these activities are performed by specific small structures which are present in the cell. All these cell organelles are membrane bound, so that the content of the cell organelles remains separate from the outer atmosphere. In this chapter, we will discuss following cell organelles: endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, and plastids. Apart from this, there are few more cell organisms which you will study in higher standard. These cell organelles are found in eukaryotic cell. All these cell organelles are membrane bound. In prokaryotic cell, these cell organelles are absent. First one is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is found in the form of tubes and sheets. It is a large network of membrane bound tubes and sheets together form endoplasmic reticulum. It is covered by membrane which is similar to plasma membrane. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum: rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is called rough due to ribosomes attached to it. Ribosomes are responsible for the synthesis of protein in ER. The protein is transported to various places in the cell. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum synthesis lipid. On smooth endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes are not present. Some proteins and lipids help in building the cell membrane, and this process is known as membrane biogenesis. Endoplasmic reticulum always form a network of system. Functions of endoplasmic reticulum are synthesis protein and lipid. It serves as the channel for the transportation of material. Cytoplasmic framework, providing a surface for biochemical activities of cell. And smooth endoplasmic reticulum detoxify many poisons and toxins in liver cells of vertebrates. You can see this is the figure of endoplasmic reticulum which is present in the cell.
Life. We know this. And by now, we even know how the discovery of cells, as seen in the tree cork, was a breakthrough in biological studies. Now it's time to have a look at how the cells actually look under a microscope. For this, we select onion peel as our specimen. But before we begin with the procedure, let's first collect the necessary requirements. We will need a microscope, a slide, a cover slip, iodine solution, water, and forceps. Anything else we're left with? Well, the most important of all is the specimen, that is an onion peel. Now that we're all set with the equipments needed, let's begin with the amazing experiment of observing the onion cells under the microscope. Firstly, we take the onion peel and with the help of the forceps, pull away the thin lining from the inner surface. Before placing this on the slide, we first add a drop of water on, then place the onion peel on it. We are not supposed to touch the peel and even the slide with our fingers. Next, we add 2 drops of dilute iodine solution. Hold on, do you know why is iodine solution added to this specimen? We do this so that we can clearly see all the parts of the cell. Else it's difficult to study them as they are transparent. It would even be difficult to differentiate between the various parts. Now we place a cover slip in this manner and make sure that no air bubbles are formed on the slide. With this, our slide is ready. This entire process of setting up the microscope along with the slide is termed mounting. It's also important to see that there is enough light falling on the mirror of the microscope. Shall we observe it now? Here we go. Wow, doesn't it look amazing? Now before studying these, tell me one thing. Do plants and animal cells look the same? Do they have the same organelles? Or are the two types different in some ways? Well, plant and animal cells are slightly different. When cells from a human cheek are scraped with a sterile cotton bud and mounted, similar but not exactly same cells are seen under the microscope. Roughly, we have these thick, distinct borders that differentiate each cell from the other one. Then we have these thin, tiny dark spots scattered all over. Also, we can spot this prominent circular structure here, which is very darkly stained. Any ideas what these things are? Well, these are the cell constituents. Let's get introduced to each in the next video.